Good evening. I'd like to call the November 21st, 2023 Long Branch City Council meeting to order. Roll call.
Mr. Vieira?
I'm here.
Dr. Vogt?
Here.
Mrs. Wittes?
Here.
Dr. Sally's absent. Mr. Dangler?
Here. Can we please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The Long Branch Mayor, City Council, and Administration are committed to cultivating an environment of mutual trust and respect that values the diversity of our community. We will strive to enhance the quality of life for all who live here by making Long Branch a desirable place in which to live and prosper. We will treat each member of the public with respect and expect the same in return. Madam Clerk.
I hereby certify that this meeting has been published in the newspaper in accordance with the Open Public Meetings Act and posted as required by law.
I need a motion to approve the minutes of the previous meeting.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Mr. Vieira?
Yes.
Dr. Vogt?
Yes.
Mrs. Wittes?
Yes.
Dr. Sally's absent. Mr. Dangler?
Yes. Consideration of ordinance and public hearing and final considerations, we have none. Ordinance for introduction, we have none. Public participation for resolution and all general comments. I need a motion to open the public portion of the meeting for all comments.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So moved. If there's anyone in the audience that has a comment to make, please step to the podium and state your name and address clearly for the record. You will have 5 minutes and may only speak once.
Requesting 1-minute notification, Vincent Lepore, 33 Ocean Terrace, Long Branch. Right from the start, Resolution 292, renewal of the SPCA contract, not a chance. The performance was not stellar at all this year in delivering a quality service. There are at least several severe incidents that occurred on their hands this year in Long Branch, particularly involving the deer in Elberon. The State Veterinary Medical Examiners Board has found sufficient grounds for the State Attorney General's office to continue investigating the infamous bison fatality and the SPCA individuals involved. Those individuals from the SPCA responding to calls in Long Branch, further potentially endangering both animals and humans in Long Branch. Trying to compensate on quality service and dealing with the SPCA for pseudo cost savings is not justified. I stated 1 year ago, and I'll state it again tonight, the SPCA should put on a per diem contract when needed, as other Monmouth County towns do, at $90 per call and impound fees. And a city animal control part-timer should be added to assist the current full-time animal control officer. We've got more coming on the SPCA in Long Branch, but we're not now at legal liberty to state it, but it's coming. It's amazing how a couple of years ago we never had problems with animal control in Long Branch, and now we have problems. I'm requesting a no vote, Resolution 292. Mr. Martin, Resolution 293, can you provide a date for the columns, amount, and useful life?
Useful life is approximately 13 years, I think. The date of sale is gonna be, I'm not sure the exact date, but I think the second and third week in December. And what was your other question?
What was the original useful life of refunding bond ordinance 2414 at origination?
15.41.
15.41 years.
What will be the new maturity date of this combined partially refunded bond issue? The new maturity date? Yes. Do you have an answer?
Not off the top of my head, no.
All right, when and how much would the next rescheduled payment of bond 2414 would have been if this measure tonight was not being presented?
We would have to make another payment.
Excuse me?
We can't make any more payments. We can only note it for 10 years.
Mr. Martin, what is the new citywide taxable assessments generated on October 1st?
The new citywide taxable assessments for which year?
Generated on October 1st this year.
Of this year?
Yes.
Just got handed to me today. It's $8 billion and change.
All right, Mr. Martin, how many times can you refund the bond?
I'm not sure.
Okay, Mr. Martin,
What it wants.
what is the interest rate you expect to get through the Monmouth County Improvement Authority?
I think we're speculated between 4.8 and 5%.
5%. Okay. At the February 23rd, 22 council meeting, I asked on bond ordinance 2414, now 522, if 2414 would be refunded later in the year. You stated no.
1 minute warning.
Now tonight, since ordinance 2414, now 522, will now be refunded a second time. Where's the cost analysis of the projected savings on this partial refunding?
We're not refunding anything.
You don't call what we're doing now, consolidating, going through the MCIA through a new rate, not refunding?
It's not refunded.
It's not refunding.
You got a different way of looking at things. That's not the correct way.
Okay?
Not refunding.
So you think. I'm requesting a no vote. There's no clarity in the ordinance, in the resolution, excuse me. It should have been done in an ordinance. It's being shotgunned through a resolution. It is a refunding. There's no clarity on the read, as I stated. And there's something very, very suspect involving ordinance 2414. The parlaying of 2414 for the second time around,
5 minutes.
there's something very suspect, and we're on to it. And this isn't ending here tonight on 2414. Requesting a no vote.
Good evening.
Good evening.
My name's Kate Burns. I'm supposed to give you my address, right? It's 506 Narragansett. I'm actually here today as well to talk about the SPCA and the upcoming contract. And I want to talk to you about my feelings why I don't believe the SPCA is the appropriate animal control for the city. The best way I can do that is to share with you my story. On September 23rd, 2022, I was walking my 20-pound doodle in North Long Branch on a nice quiet street. Suddenly, a menacing dog appeared on the street, and seconds later, a second one got out of an insecure backyard. The owners did absolutely nothing to help, and nothing to stop the two dogs from advancing. Two 60-pound pit bulls attacked me and my dog on the street. They mauled him for minutes in front of me. No matter what I did, no matter how hard I tried, I couldn't stop them. They were in complete bloodlust. And I'm not saying that they're pit bulls as any indictment on the breed at all. I'm just trying to show you the difference in the size and what I was up against. I lost my dog that day, my companion, my best friend. And I have really extreme PTSD as a result of what I went through. Every single day of my life, it affects me. And while I understand that there is nothing and nobody that could have changed what happened to me that day or prevented that attack, I believe everything that happened from that day forward, I was failed by animal control here in Long Branch. And most of that, to me, was the animal control on duty that day, which was the SPCA. An angel in the form of a good Samaritan, a neighbor, heard my screaming, heard the ruckus, and she called the police. I think his name was Steve White. It might be Steve Kelly. I always get it confused. But he arrived within just a few minutes and immediately helped me get my dog into his car to help me get to the vet. Officer Mecca arrived and met us there. She helped me get Winston into the vet for treatment while Steve went back to file the report. As I understand it, the police and the dispatch requested animal control's presence multiple times on scene that day. The SPCA was the record there. Our regular animal control was out, I believe, in quarantine with COVID. It was 1 o'clock on a Friday afternoon. This was not outside of business hours. And I believe it is a regulation in New Jersey that animal control answer an emergency call involving an animal. Yet they refused over and over to answer the call. They said they'd write an unleashed dog ticket later, as if that was going to protect our town and my neighborhood from 2 bloodlust dogs running around. They refuse not only to take the call, but to do any of the basic work that you all have hired them to do. I was later told they suggested that that officer could seize the dogs himself, which obviously puts him and our first responders at extreme risk. Their inaction meant that not one person there investigated whether these dogs had rabies or were up to date on their vaccines. Because I was bitten and injured, I had to go through a cycle of rabies shots. I had to go to the ER 4 times, and I had to pay $2,500 out of my own pocket because the SPCA refused during the rest of that business day to do anything to protect me or my neighborhood from those dogs. It's not just the lasting effects of the experience that causes me to say the SPCA is not an animal control and not fit to be the animal control here. The public health and the public safety of the town is at risk, and I urge you not to renew that contract. The responses to animal-related emergency calls are required, and they are not following it. New Jersey NJSA 419-15.16 and 17 through 37 sets forth the guidelines for animal control as an agency on how to handle dangerous dogs. And at every step, they failed.
1 minute warning.
Best practices for New Jersey State requires timely response to calls and complaints from the public concerning suspected wild animals or animals creating a threat to public health, safety, or interfering with the enjoyment of property. The response should be prompt, even on nights, weekends, and holidays. They did not do that. Number 2, capture of stray domestic animals, threatening the safety and health of residents. They did not do that. Proper equipment is essential to carry this out, and that includes rabies poles, trucks. They suggested a cop put 2 dogs in his back seat. They did not do that. Investigate reports of animal bites and vicious dogs incidents and seize and impound. They did not do that. 3 days later, on a Monday, Animal Control in Long Branch had to go get the rights to seize those dogs. 14 months later, I'm waiting to find out if they have rabies because nobody ever checked.
5
They
minutes.
did not do that. Thank you.
Thank you. I need a motion to close the public portion.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So moved. Madam Clerk, were there any changes to the list of resolutions?
No changes were made.
We can take the list of resolutions as a consent agenda.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Mr. Viera?
Yes.
Dr. Vogt?
Yes.
Mrs. Wittes?
Yes.
Dr. Selly is absent. Mr. Dangler?
Yes. Applications, we have none. Miscellaneous business for the good of the order. Councilman Vieira.
Yes, good evening, thanks for coming. I really feel bad for what happened to you. It touches us, you know. And, yeah. With that, thanks for coming out tonight, and happy Thanksgiving. Good night.
Councilwoman Vogt.
Well, I also want to say my heart is with you. As a dog lover, I know what you're going through.
Well, I would urge you all to think that could be your dog, and if you continue to let them run as our animal control, it may be one day.
Council President, ma'am, if you'd like to wait, the business administrator would like to talk to you just after the minute. We'll be done in 2 minutes. Thank you.
And I join Councilman Vieira wishing everyone a happy Thanksgiving.
And I too would like to wish everyone a happy Thanksgiving and, you know, our hearts go out to you for your dog. I have a dog and I understand.
Mayor Pallone?
Just want to wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving, and thank you for staying for a moment.
No one should witness a loved one or a pet go through something like that. And I'm sorry you did. I'd like to wish everyone a safe Thanksgiving. Enjoy the family, friends, be safe. And because it is a holiday and people are enjoying themselves, please Uber, don't drink and drive. Be safe. God bless you all. I need a motion to adjourn.
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So moved.